One thing is for certain. The NFL draft did not disappoint. There were a lot of things that went down, and arguably some of the craziest trades and everything that just went down last night. I mean, I'm still getting over it, but I mean that's what the NFL draft is for. That's what a lot of things kind of go into it. I know, some players finding some new homes. A lot of things going on in that department as well, but also just the draft in general. I mean, it was absolutely wild. But today we are here to talk about the biggest draft day surprises that we experienced. Now, again, I do know that there was a lot that went into this draft. There's obviously, countless hours on the road, all the cliche answers. But at the end of the day, a lot of work goes into it. But we're gonna go ahead and kind of get to some of the things here. So I want to start by saying that the first 10 picks kind of went according to plan, but I do also want to say that at the end of the day, there was a little bit of surprise with the first overall pick, and that actually is surprise number one, Travon Walker to the Jags. Now, this did gain a lot of momentum heading into the draft, but I didn't know how much, I didn't know if that was a smokescreen, because a lot of these GMs are saying a lot of things, doing a lot of different things, doing, on the phones constantly, making deals, doing all this kind of things. I didn't know how much weight that carried, but as we found out, it carries a lot of weight. We're talking about a guy that honestly showed out at the combine, really showed that he is going to be a force to be reckoned with, or should be a force to be reckoned with, just based on his measurables coming into the league. So I really feel like Travon Walker could be a really good player for the Jags. Obviously, they needed help at edge. Obviously, they wanted to do some different things. Hutchinson, I felt, was maybe the safer pick here at one, but the Lions got to steal it too. We'll get into those and exactly all the different trades and steals and everything. But I really do think that this was a great trade or a good pick. Let me scratch that. I think it's a good pick, not a great pick. I wasn't in love with it then. I'm not in love with it now. I think it will really depend on how he pans out. Obviously, since he is the first overall pick in this year's draft. But again, that was surprise number one for me because again, I didn't know how much weight that carried. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen with Hutchinson. I didn't know where Sauce Gardner was going to go. It was all up in the air. But Travon Walker to the Jags, obviously is a big thing, and I feel like in terms of stats, predictions wise, he should be a 5-6 sack guy a year just to start things out. But I think moving on, the expectation is for him to be that 10 sack a year kind of a guy, which I totally get and I 110% agree with. So that was surprise number one for me. Surprise number two. All of the player trades. Now, I get it. There are some teams that just didn't have quite the draft ammo, or they wanted to get rid of some guys. Obviously the Eagles, they traded 18 and a third-round pick away to get A.J. Brown. I love that trade. I felt like, A.J. Brown's going to come in and really help out this Eagles receiving core. Jalen Hurts, they made some great additions. They really did. Also, getting Jordan Davis as well for the Eagles, that's a big-time get as well. So the Eagles got a lot better. The Eagles got a lot better very quickly. And then also the Ravens traded Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals, and Arizona receives a third-round pick, but also the Baltimore received 23, which who they took Kaiir Elam with. I was kind of mad about that one, but it is what it is at this point. So overall, a lot of the player trades, that was one of the things that really caught my eye. I couldn't believe it. And obviously, yes, also the Eagles did trade up for Jordan Davis because that man was an absolute stud. And then, obviously some of the trades, like my Vikings, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they traded 12 away. You got 22, you got 32, you got 34, and you got 66, but you also gave up 46. I don't know. I know the analytics and a lot of the other things, and we'll get into that video of what we think about the Vikings trade. But at the end of the day, all the player trades absolutely wild. The draft did not disappoint, and this was absolutely another major factor. Surprise number three, the value that's left. There's a lot of teams here, obviously that didn't have first-round draft picks, teams like the Rams, teams like the Raiders, but there's still a lot left in terms of talent in this draft class. I think there's still a lot of different routes that NFL teams could go. Nakobe Dean is still there. Andrew Booth Jr. is still there. Two guys I honestly thought were first-round draft picks at the very top of this draft, and now they are still there. And I'm really excited to see kind of what goes on here. So, I know there's a lot of guys that went at surprising spots, but overall, that first 10 picks, like I said, really did pan out. But again, I do think going into day 2, there's still a lot of guys that are on the board that you know, guys like David Ojabo, like Nakobe Dean, Breece Hall is still there, Devin Lloyd Went, Brian Cook, pretty much all the quarterbacks except Kenny Pickett are there. So, there's a lot of great talent still left on the board. Guys like Travis Jones. I mean, the list goes on. There's so much left. A couple of guys did go that surprised you. Guys like Cole Strange in the first, Tyler Smith as well going as a tackle to the Cowboys. So there's quite a bit going on in this draft that was like, okay, Travon Walker, that kind of set the tone. Okay, so then Hutchinson, it was really about how this board was going to fall. And like I said, it's the draft. The value that's left, that's kind of a part of it. One player gets drafted here that carries a lot of other ramifications for what players will go subsequently after that. So a lot of value still left on day 2 and day 3. And that could help a lot of teams go up and get guys that they want and get the players that they want still in this draft, which should be very interesting. But that's it. Those are our biggest surprises from the 2022 NFL Draft so far. Obviously, day 2 coming up today. I think it starts at 6 Mountain Time. Not going to be able to live stream that one, but I do think there's a lot of interesting things. We'll come out with reactions and grades, obviously, after all the draft is done. But let us know what you guys think about the biggest surprises. What surprised you the most? Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome, and we love every single one of you. In the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsvp@yahoo.com. Wow. Sorry. Oh, I had my coffee this morning. I apologize. Or I'll put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the biggest surprises from the 2022 NFL Draft.